Be grateful.
Indeed, Anthony. I second that. We need to appreciate the little things in life. Oh, I see that we are online. We are live.
Yeah. Now we can proceed.
Okay, karibu Muriuki.
Okay, hi everyone. This is SAS-K, Skeptics and Atheists Society of Kenya. Thanks for tuning in. Just watch till the end and feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks again for tuning in. Now today we're talking about family challenges. Yeah, that's family challenges there. Yeah, so we can begin with a definition. So guys, how do you define family? Thanks. Anyone? How do you define family? Anyone? What's the definition of family? Maybe Dorcas, you can go. Dorcas, how do you define family?
Okay. According to my understanding, family is a group of people. It can even be one person to whom you are related by blood or marriage. Often, these people live under the same roof, but sometimes they don't. Especially when you are growing up as a child, the family unit is assumed to be the one that has custody over you. So by blood, by marriage, but also by legal means, because I'm now thinking of adoption. You can have a family through adoption. So this normally involves parents, children, uncles, aunties, cousins, nephews, nieces, grandparents, great grandparents, or even an older generation than that. And as I said, they may or may not be living together, but they are considered the people that are accountable for you. Like if somebody asks you, who is your next of kin? Usually it is your family that is mentioned. Lately, we have, we used to have the nuclear family. We used to think that the nuclear family is the commonest. No, actually, we used to have the extended family that was the backbone of the African home. Africans used to say that it takes a village to raise a child. And if you talk to many of our parents or or grandparents, they grew up in homes with multiple generations or a lot of distant family members under the same roof. Then now that changed with urban migration, and in many cities and towns, we find that the families are nuclear. And in those nuclear families, initially it used to be father, mother, and children, but now we have single mothers or single parents and their children, as well as other visiting. You might find that they are visiting family members. They don't stay with you permanently. Maybe somebody's looking for a job, they come to Nairobi, they live in their cousin's place for 1 or 2 years before they find their feet. So yeah, that's my understanding of family.
Okay, thank you, Dorcas. How about Chilwave? How do you define family? Please, Chilwave.
I guess it's just the nuclear and extended family
but sometimes it can be a bit different. Like, you might have a step parent or a step sibling. That's how I define family.
Okay, thanks. Tommy, your hand was up, then it went down. Do you have something to say? Tommy? Okay, fine. Okay, thanks, Doctors and Children. So for me, what I have is a family. A family is a group of people connected by blood, marriage, adoption, or strong emotional bonds, who typically share common resources, care for one another, and provide a sense of security. So yeah, so a family is a group of people connected by blood, marriage, adoption, or strong emotional bonds, who typically share common resources, care for one another, and provide a sense of security. Then again, there are families, people who care for, support, and belong to each other, whether by birth or by choice. Yeah, families, people who care for, support, and belong to each other, whether by birth or by choice. Then, like Doctor said, there's the nuclear family and extended family. So, nuclear family is a household unit consisting of two parents and their children, biological or adopted, living in one home. Yeah, so nuclear family is a household unit consisting of two parents and their children, biologically or adopted, living in one home. Then extended family is a family that goes beyond immediate household, parents and their children. Then you have relatives like aunts, uncles, cousins. Yeah. So extended family is a family that goes beyond immediate household with parents and their children. Then you include relatives. Yeah. So that's what I have. Okay. Then we're talking about family challenges. So now, how would you define a challenge? When you hear challenge, how can you define a challenge? Thanks. Lucas, how do you define a challenge? What's a challenge to you? Because we're discussing family challenges.
A challenge in this context would be a difficulty that the family members face sorry, I have that cough again. This time I got it from
You have
the
a challenge.
kids.
You have a challenge.
Touche, yes. So, yeah, it's a difficulty that arises when family members' needs are not met. You see what you described in the definition, that these are people who have a strong emotional bond, they give you support, usually financially, um, socially, emotionally, and psychologically, as well as physically. So when those expectations or those needs are not met or they are contravened, then it becomes a challenge. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Lucas. AMK, please. AMK.
Thank you for inviting me. I think this topic was not meant for research, but it was meant for experience because we all belong to family. We all belong to family. At once you are from maybe nuclear family or extended family, because we are all from one family, one or the other, right? Whether you like it or not. Have you ever noted there is a lot of domestic violence? To a point, you feel like you disown your own family. To a point, you feel like you don't want to be mentioned with that family. because of just domestic violence. I think those are also challenges that we face in our family.
Okay, thanks, MK. Anybody else? Okay, so for me, what I have for challenge, it's a difficult task or situation, something that tests your ability, effort, or determination. So a challenge is a difficult task or situation, something that tests your ability, effort, or determination. Then it tests your, it's a test of skill or strength. Yeah, a test of skill or strength. Then a call to improve or grow. Yeah, that's what I have. Okay, now, so now let's begin now. Now, family for me, okay, for me personally, parents are not ordained by anyone. Our parents just met. There are two strangers who met. Then they have kids. Then we have a family. So can we say man-made is a man-made construct? Yeah, family is a man-made construct. It's nothing big because our parents were not ordained by a higher power. They just met and they have kids. So is it fair to say that family is a man-made construct, that it means nothing, but we give it meaning? Am I right? Thanks. Okay, MK, please go.
For example, on Christianity based of view, we talk about God created someone for you. But on reality, you meet a stranger whom you never knew, and maybe you are blessed, you have that side kind of a good wedding, but it fails even within a year. But on the other hand, people just meet like those old days where people like you just meet somewhere and you started family and it becomes successful. So this means this is man-made. I agree with you. It is something that you meet with someone, two strangers, you come up with children, and you call it a family. The day it is a very, it's a kind of a situation where even the family itself, the husband and the wife does not even understand how they met and how they become husband and wife. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, AMK. So maybe Rachel, what do you think? Rachel, is family a man-made construct? Ama it's something real? Ama we just made it up? Rachel, what do you think?
Family is both made up and something that already exists because human beings come from somewhere. Human beings have to be given birth to. They have to be raised somehow because a child who is born cannot fend for itself. So family has to be there, whether you're raised by your parents, you're raised in an orphanage. Someone has to be in charge of you. So you will have someone you're looking up to. They will be your family, and they will take you as family. So I believe everyone comes from somewhere. Yeah.
So family is real, eh? It's not a man-made construct. It's for it's a real thing, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, fine, thanks. Okay, Chilwave.
I would say it's real because parents are related to their children biologically. So in that sense, I would say it's real. Like there's DNA evidence, there's something objective that we can point to.
But Juliet, how about the part of our parents being strangers? How about that? Parents just being strangers who just met. How is that? They are just strangers who met. Does that disqualify it being something real?
I mean, that's less of family and more of marriage. I would say marriage is man-made, but family is objective, at least. Because my understanding of family is like, you have like a wife, a spouse and kids. Otherwise, I would rather define it as a marriage within this context.
So a family is real, but marriage is a man-made one, eh? That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, fine, thanks. Okay, Dorcas?
I don't even know what to think of this question because it's a social. It's. You're saying it's man-made versus real. That's not a real dichotomy. Sorry to use the word real in short order, in consecutive order in the same sentence, but that was the best word to express my meaning. But what is, again, this brings me back to the issue I have with you and abstract concepts. Just because something is man-made does not mean it's not real. If it's not man-made, you are saying it's not made by a higher power, like that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to us as atheists because the higher power is not involved, the higher power is not real. So even attributing it to the higher power will not make it any more valid. So something can be man-made and it can be real. So those two things don't need to be dichotomy. With that said, there is that element of family among non-human animals. Hard animals, like if you look at lions or other pack animals, you see the aspect of family. There are kids, there's the mother, and there's the father. There's still that aspect of nurturing younger ones, looking for resources for the younger ones, teaching the younger ones how to survive in the world. Yeah, you're giving them skills as an animal, as a non-human animal. You're giving the younger ones skills to survive and thrive in the world. And that is usually done by the parents that are related to that young one. So we need not confine it to that narrow understanding that it is man-made or not real. No, it exists even among non-human animals. So yeah, but to me it is so inconsequential. I'm more interested in dissecting those challenges. I can't wait to start. Thank you.
Yeah, Dorcas, I asked that question because this thing people say blood is thicker than water. Do you believe in that? There's that famous quote, blood is thicker than water. Do you believe in that?
Yes and no. I think that human beings have a bias towards their own, towards people to whom they are related. A study was done by a sociologist in the US among the Jewish community there. You know, the Jews over there are very close knit. In fact, that's one of the reasons why there's a lot of enmity towards them. So anyway, he was looking at the gift-giving behavior for newborns, or I don't know what ceremony that is that they have. I don't know if it's a Jewish ceremony, but it celebrates the young ones. And usually, families from the paternal and maternal side bring gifts. Unfortunately, he found that the relatives from the maternal side were more generous than the ones from the paternal side, from the man's side, when they were celebrating the baby. And it was not because this cut across various families. So it was not a status thing that maybe the maternal side has less money, has more money than the paternal side. When he asked the subject of the research why this was the case, it was found that it was because of paternal certainty. I mean, maternal certainty. You know, when somebody gives birth to a child, they were in their womb, they carried them for 9 months, and they literally remove them from their bodies. So you are very sure, not 100%, because sometimes the hospital can mix up the kids, but most of the time you are very sure of the maternal lineage. You know that this is our kid, they are related to us. So the mothers, the sisters to the mother of the newborn, they were more generous because they were sure of the blood relation to that kid. Conversely, for the paternal side, the relatives gave fewer gifts or less expensive, less generous gifts because of paternal uncertainty. Their relative, the man, does not carry the child, so you can't be sure that he's really the father, unless now a DNA test was done and it was broadcasted to the entire family. But that research proves that blood matters. Blood really matters. You even see it with step families. There's that common Cinderella stepmother trope, where when a stepmother comes into the picture, she favors her own blood children compared to this other one that belongs to a different relationship. Even the siblings, you find that siblings tend to be closer when they share at least one parent compared to the ones that don't have any parent in common, but they are living under the same roof. So in that respect, blood is thicker than water. But there are exceptions to this. We see people who adopt children and they love them unconditionally, right? They love them unconditionally. They never make them feel inadequate. And this flies in the face of that concept. We also still have step parents that are loving towards children who are not theirs. We also have instances, we also have the marriage arrangement. There are partners that are genuine partners, like they're genuine support systems to each other. So, and they become family and they grow old together. This becomes like your wife or your husband becomes your ride or die. You count on them more than you count on your blood brother or blood sister or your parents as an adult. So that again flies in the face of it. Yeah, that's my perspective. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Dorcas. AMK, is blood thicker than water? AMK, do you believe in that? Blood is thicker than water? AMK.
I would rather say Yes, because there is that connection and that mutual um, there is that connection when you feel when you meet someone you know, someone you are raised with, than someone you have never met before or someone you have never raised with. Alongside that perspective, I would say yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay, another quick question. You see, animals like cats, rabbits, they have relatives, but they don't know. All of them have relatives. So now, what makes your cousin special? As that's what I'm saying. Is it man-made or real? Because even cats and rabbits, they have relatives. They have kids, they have brothers, sisters, but they don't know. So now, what makes your relative important to you? Is it because you're human, it's in their mind, or it's something real? Because animals all have relatives. That's what I'm asking. Is it a man-made thing or real? Because cats have cousins too, but they don't know. Only human beings know that. So now what makes yours special? Thanks. Maybe Chilwave, what do you think? Chilwave, what makes your cousin more special than a cat's cousin? Why is yours more important, Chilwave?
Maybe I can answer the other question where I was going to say, I think ideally, in an ideal world, water would be thicker than blood, but in reality, that's not how it is. Because I think, statistically speaking, most family members would not really like each other if they weren't family. But when it comes to friends, we often choose our friends. But the problem with friends is that the older you grow, the more likely the friendship is to diverge because of changes in beliefs and environment. So the sad reality is that oftentimes you find it's either you end up betraying your friends or your friends end up betraying you. But with family, there's always that bond of blood in the sense that you'll always have something fundamental in common. So you might find a situation where you don't talk to a family member for like 10 years or 15 years, but eventually you change and you forgive them, or they change and they forgive you, or whatever. And yeah, eventually you become friends again. And the reason is because there was something strong that was binding you together. So yeah, unfortunately, I would say blood is thicker than water.
Okay, thanks, Chilwave. Okay, I'm asking this question because what I've observed personally myself, when people are young, kids, they get along very well, even with their parents when they're young. As they get older, I don't know what happens. It's like people drift apart. According to my observation, kids are very close together. You see brothers and sisters playing together, having fun. Then as they get older, they start having rivalries, differences. They disobey their parents. Families fall apart as we get older. That's why I asked this question. Because now we're told family is so important, but as we get older, we seem to drift apart from each other. I don't know, am I wrong in my observation or what? Rachel, what do you think? As we grow older, we drift apart as a family. Am I right, Shama? I see my own things. Rachel.
Okay, that is actually true also in my own observation. It's because as you get older, you accumulate the years and you accumulate experiences that you have with people, and mostly repetition of behavior from either the same people or different people. You also meet new people and get new knowledge, or your mind opens up to new thought patterns. And so how you thought when you were younger kinda adjusts when you're older. Because okay, you see, when you're younger, there's nothing to refer to in your past. You're a new child. There's nothing to refer to in your past, and so you just take new friends as new friends, and you take them at face value. You accept them very well. But when you're older, you have experiences that you've had in the past, whether it's with the same people, whether they were family members or friends. There's what you've experienced with them in the past, and so you are able to predict them. And so your attitude towards them is based on experience, being an older person. And even new people, when you meet new people, if they have tendencies that you have seen in the past with someone else, you kinda can already predict how you will turn out in that relationship with this person. So you're able to judge them faster. So it's harder to forge new relationships as an older person than as a younger person.
So, if family, Rachel, family is no big deal. Because as you grow older, you drift apart. So, can I say family isn't a big deal? Because that bond you have when your kids disappears as we get older.
With family now,
Yeah, with family, yeah. Many times you see kids are just they're having issues with the family. They don't even talk. Even they even fight. As they get older, no, wanakosana kabisa. So can you say that proves family is no big deal?
okay, when you look at relationships in terms of children, when children are younger, it's about survival. It's mostly about survival. They have nowhere to turn to. And even those that decide to run away become street children. You see. So it's safer for them to comply and to be humble, to fit in the family that they are growing up in. But when they get older, and now there is an opportunity to make a choice for themselves, they can fend for themselves, they can go ahead and make a life for themselves without depending on people. Family becomes more of a choice than survival. See, it becomes more of a choice than survival. Eh, but most times, much as people don't cut off people 100%, it's mostly because you feel the need to have a place that you say you belong. But that is just saying that you belong, but it's not really a matter of survival. So for children, I would say it's just survival, and then you grow up, you become an independent person.
Okay, thanks, Rachel. AMK, families drift apart. Why? If it's real. AMK.
I want to correct you and say you are wrong, because I've seen families whose bond increases as they grow older, sisters and brothers. So this is a matter of being cultured. This is a matter of being raised by parents who are in the right mind. So most of these problems, they originate from parental care. If you are ready as a parent, a father and a mother, or even in a single parent, you would rather make sure these children are well cultured, they love each other, they grow together, they feel a sense of belonging, they feel a sense of brotherhood and sisterhood. So this issue of drifting apart is as a result of parental care.
Thank you, MK. Dorcas. Dorcas?
Your assertion that the fact that we drift apart as adults shows that family isn't a big deal is contradicted by the marital setup, because as we said, family does not just consist of blood relations. You can choose your family when you marry and start your own. So the relationship between partners can still be strong, it can still be existent, even if the one between you and your siblings fades away. So I think we need to acknowledge nuance. We can't make summary statements like that family is not a big deal because of this one observation that you've seen. Yet, when we define family, we acknowledge that there are various forms of family and how we are related to family members. Why am I saying this? Because the needs that a family fulfills still exist. As a human being, you are a social creature. You can't be entirely self-dependent. You need a support system. And as Chilwef had said previously, yes, you can choose friends. You can make friends your support system, but friends don't have that obligation that family members do. That's what I've found. A personal experience. I'm unmarried, but I am interested in marriage because of that one factor. Having a support system. Like this one person, at least who will know my whereabouts. You know, I was actually talking to somebody who is in this meeting, and I was saying, what if I fell sick one day to a point where I can't even reach out to my friends? Do you know Dorcas will just die alone in the house? That's what is going to happen to me. But if I had a family member staying with me or a partner, you know, the reason why I would want it to be a marriage is that this person, there's a sense of obligation that increases, that is there when you are legally binded to someone compared to when it's just boyfriend, girlfriend, right? So if this person is staying with me and we consider ourselves to be family, then I would be covered. You know, there's a support system. Or if I have a crisis, or maybe I'm stuck somewhere in town, you know, the first person you ought to call would be your partner or your family member, that person with whom you live. The friend might be there, but maybe they are far away, maybe they're not in a position, or they're just not close. They're not close to you psychologically speaking. Like you feel like you're overburdening them with this emergency that you have. So I still think that it is relevant, that family is relevant, even if the bond fades off with siblings. It's still there. You can choose your own family through the legal route, and you still need that support system. My thoughts.
Thank you, Dorcas. Okay, now maybe a challenge parents have. I don't know what you guys think. At times parents say, kids say, I didn't ask to be born. When they are like teenagers, when there's like this teenage crisis, they say to their parents, I didn't ask to be born. So it's your obligation, it's your responsibility to take care of me because I didn't ask to be born. So when young kids say that, are they right to say to a parent, I'm here, you brought me here, so it's your job to take care of me? Is that correct for a kid to say that, a teenager especially? You brought me here. I didn't ask to be I didn't ask to be born. You brought me here. So it's your job to take care of me. Is that correct for a teenager, a young kid to say to a parent? Thanks. Deve, go please. Deve.
Thanks, Muriuki. Hello, everybody. Sorry, today I was late. It's the beginning of spring here, and I like to eat. So the soil is. I'm very close to the soil. Yeah. So when kids say, "I didn't ask to be brought here," first of all, it shows that your child is thinking, but it also shows that that child is angry or things are not going well for that child. Because if things were going well, they would be enjoying their life. So as a parent, I don't think that you can look at that lightly or too hard on yourself, because you probably brought that child here hoping that they will have a good life. That probably maybe yourself, you had a good life and you thought that your child will also have a good life. So while on the other hand, I would be happy that my child is thinking about the dynamics that bring a life, that those dynamics are deliberate. I would also be concerned that something is not going right in that child's life. I might as well go and say that maybe that, I don't know if that child is angry about something or something, or if mentally that child is okay. It's just a few things to think about. And so I will also be saying that that child is still young, is still too young to understand that life is indifferent, not just to that child, but to all of us, including the parents, including the siblings. But there are some things that we might find ourselves that, for example, parents could have shielded us against. For example, I often find that parents, and I'm not saying that parents can help what child they like, but parents can help by not showing open preference or favoritism. So that can also make a child think, why am I here? If you did not like me, you like Jimmy, why am I here? Why didn't you just have Jimmy alone and leave me alone in limbo? So yes, yeah, it's an interesting thing. On the one, it has got these two sides that cut equally on the parent. Thank you.
So, David, if a kid tells you that it's your obligation to take care of me, you didn't bring me here, what would you say to that kid? He or she has a challenge to you. You brought me here. What to tell him or her?
Yeah, first of all, a parent has to take care of their child. There's no two ways about that, because when that child is born, they are helpless. It's up to you to bring up that child and to take care of that child. But if we are talking about, say, a 30-year-old person that has got his own wife and children,
so
then we are talking
teenager.
A teenager, yeah. I think a teenager, we still are responsible. We still are responsible for our teenagers, unless that teenager is in a society where they have a job. They have got the ability to find a job that they can do, because you can find a teenager out here. They do have a little job at McDonald's, and they've got a brand new sports car, and they are living in my basement. So I'm still taking care of that child in a way. They have got their own car and their own money, but I'm still taking care of that person because they are still a teenager. They probably still be a high schooler. So yes, I am responsible for that child up to a certain up to a certain age and up to a certain time. And let us agree that usually we like, when we have got an independence, we actually like to move out from the nest, and we should actually be kicked out of the nest and go and be independent. It's a good thing. But we should also want, before we are kicked out of the nest, we should want to leave the nest to gain our independence. Thank you.
Thanks, Neve. Thank you, Neve. Chilwave.
So basically, that argument is used by a lot of antinatalists, and I think it's one of the most entitled, selfish arguments to use. Especially, I know you said teenagers, but especially for people who are like adults and stuff. Because they say, oh, I didn't consent to be born. But the thing is, they also didn't consent to die, right? If the person had chosen not to have sex, then the sperm would have been ejaculated and died, or would have been recycled in the testes. And the woman's egg would have come out of her body and died, right? So the components that would make up the person would have died. So why should the parents choose death over life, yet neither were consented to, right? So it's not a valid argument. So I just find it a very dumb, selfish argument that people try to use to scapegoat responsibility. But yeah, at the end of the day, on top of it being a dumb argument, like, it's an argument you can't win, because even if you were right and your parents don't think so, then what are you going to do? Are you going to force your parents to take care of you? Because to me, I would find that to be a losing battle. So yeah, but let's mainly focus on the first argument, which I said. So yeah.
Thanks. AMK.
Okay. For me, I agree with the Madam David, the way she's putting it. And it reaches to that point where I normally say, don't bring an innocent creature on earth if you can't manage it. Yeah, because if you see that kid complaining, it means there's something wrong somewhere, either psychological support or financial support. So in other words, that child should even praise for being born, for being alive, for being there, not just complaining. So in short, if you are poor, don't give birth. You are bringing more problem, more trouble to the society and even to yourself. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, AMK. Now, for me, why I was questioning family, now let's look at divorce and infidelity. These two strangers met somewhere, they fell in this so-called love. Then a time comes, this love fades away. Then you find either they'll divorce or somebody starts cheating on the other one. Then some even go and get other kids elsewhere. Now, families where, now in all that way is the family now, because he's gone to another woman, he has other kids, he's left the first wife, we went to another one. Now, see, that shows family is just, okay, my opinion, a family is just nothing. Because now he's gone to other women and having kids with them. So now, which is the real family? Is it the first one or the second one? Proving family is just a man-made thing, my view. What do you guys think when it comes to divorce and infidelity? It just shows family is nothing. Because now he's got, like, he or she has other kids somewhere else. So now, which is the real family? The first one second or third? What do you guys think about divorce and infidelity? Thanks. Estonio?
Yes, so you've talked about, I forgot to greet everyone. I hope you are all fine. You talked about the first thing you talked about. I don't know. They met. I don't know. They instantly fell in love in the first place. Love does not exist in my. I think the people here they also know they know my view. My view, love does not exist. Secondly, if you've gone you've left I don't know the woman that you have a child or children with, and you went and have and had a child with another woman. You see, both of them are families. They're both family. Like for me in my where I come from, my dad had children with the three women. My dad had children with three women, and we are all those my step brothers and step sisters. We have no grudge. We live as though we are one family because we came from the same man. You know, the grudges come when you start feeling that like you own this man or you own this woman because they went outside and had a child with another man, which I say again, love does not exist. And secondly, do you need to fall in love with someone to have a child with him or her? I don't think so. Yeah, the divorce cases are many because, in my view, love does not exist. You just saw this stranger. You had a dopamine rush and you thought it is love. You went and had a had a child with her or him, and then some years or months later you realize your mistake, but you have to live with it. But when you get tired of it, you go to another another man or another woman who gives you another dopamine rush, and this until you are tired. So that's just how it is. It is not that you are a the family is the first one or the second one. Both or all of them, they are all family. They are all your family. Okay, you've talked about the man. He's had a child or children with one woman, and he's had another child with another woman. Both of them are family. You cannot say that the first one is family and the second is not. Yeah, that's just my view.
Okay, thanks, Estonio. Anyone else? Okay, who's that? Dexter. Dexter.
Okay, hello guys. Okay, it's an interesting discussion we are having today. I just want to tackle the guy who said love does not exist. Of course it does. It's feeling like each other. What I think should be the correct annotation from your statement is love exists, but it is not a factor when creating family, because sometimes you feel like you love someone, then it changes, you hate them. And we are talking about family, which is something that is expected to be constant, to be consistent, or permanent. So just that guy who said love does not exist, I disagree with that statement. It does, but it's not relevant when you're talking about family. I think to build a family, you need much, much more than love. You cannot build a family based on only love. It won't work because love changes. Thank you.
So Dexter, how do you build a family? How do you build a family then without love? According to you, how do you build a family?
Well, you do need love, but you need a combination of much more emotions or feelings or factors. There needs to be some sort of stability, trust. Just because I trust you doesn't mean I can build a family with you, right? I also need to love you. I also need to, and persevere you. It's a lot of things. I do not have a family myself. I do not know what is composed to, what composes of family. For me, the only way you get into a family is by being born into. I have not yet created my own.
So, Dexter, I think what Estonia is saying, that attraction you have for somebody, that thing, attraction, you see somebody, you like how they look, that thing is what they call love. It doesn't last. So that he's saying it's not real. Because this person, you just like how they look. You like their face, their body, their hair.
Well,
That
how are you saying it? How are you saying it's not real? When you are literally describing it, you are saying, I feel this, I feel this. So are your feelings fake?
They are lying to you. They are lying.
Those are dopamine. Those are dopamine rush, not love.
Well, is dopamine not real? Is dopamine
It is
not
real.
real?
It's real,
Exactly.
but love is
So
not.
then love is real.
Dopamine is real,
If
love is
it's a rush
not.
of dopamine, it's real. And remember,
Dopamine
it's
and
not
love
just,
are real, but love is not.
well, it is. What do you call a feeling of deep affection for someone? Are you saying that we don't have feelings of deep affection for people?
there's a feeling it's there, but it's lying to you because it won't last. It's a lie. It won't last. It's temporary. It won't last. That's why it's not really.
Well, a lot of things. Well, are you lying to yourself because you won't last? Someday you will die. You are also temporary. You are not permanent. You cannot tell me that just because something is temporary, it's not real. I am also not permanent. I am also temporary. A day will come and I will die. Was I false?
You're a person. You're a person. Are you a feeling? You're a real person. Are you a feeling, Dexter?
Well,
are you a
it's
feeling?
the
You're
same.
a person.
It's the same. Understand imagery. What do we call it? Understand comparisons. I'm just saying, yes, sure, love does not last, right? It ends. But that does not make it false.
But I don't compare a person and love. Don't compare yourself and love. Sawa. You're a real person who can see you. We can't see love. We can't see love, but we can see you, Dexter.
You can see love. I think no wonder you wear glasses. It is very possible to see love. You can see how I treat people I love and how I treat people I don't love. It's
okay,
something very real.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Dorcas, thank you. Dorcas. Thanks, Dexter. I think Dorcas has gone. Deve?
Thank you, Muriuki. I wonder what Dexter is talking about, or rather, shall we say maybe there is a mixture of whatever it is, but there is a big dose of lust. So maybe that is where, and it's a real thing. Lust is a real thing. Love might not be a real thing, but there is probably a mixture of things that we deal with. Maybe in the beginning, but at the end of it, we've got to like that person. Otherwise, we wouldn't stay with them. But in the beginning, it is just pure, I don't know, pure dopamine. Thanks.
Okay. So, Chile, what do you think on Chile? What's your view on this? Chile, what do you think?
But there's some people who are married up until someone dies. I think the divorce rate in Kenya is only, I think, 17 to 21%. So majority of people who are married stay married until death. So how can you say that it doesn't last? It lasts for most people.
I've seen old couples, they are together, but they don't get along. I've seen some of them. They're living together, but they're having differences, serious differences with each other. They just live with each other, but they don't get along. Have you ever seen that? The elderly not getting along as they're old.
Yeah, but we can't base it on anecdotal evidence. You can't say that all couples are that way. You'd have to show evidence that has studied the satisfaction rate of elderly couples.
Fine. Okay, thanks. Now let's deal that with sibling rivalry. Like I mentioned earlier, I think I've seen a lot of things in families. That's why I think this way. How do you deal with the sibling rivalry? Like at times parents compare children with each other. That breeds a lot of problems as they get older. Yeah, like if a child sees this parent likes this child more, as they get older, they'll have some negative attitude towards them. So now let's talk about sibling rivalry. How do you address that? Thanks. And there is your hand up from before. You want to say something? There is your hand up from before. Or you want to talk? Okay. So, okay, Rachel, how do you handle a sibling rivalry? Rachel, if the kids are competing, having an unhealthy competition with each other, Rachel, how do you advise? What did you do?
Therapy. I would advise therapy.
What kind of therapy? What kind?
Professional therapy. Professional therapy for if there is serious rivalry. Some people get to the extent of committing serious crimes because of sibling rivalry. So I would say professional therapy so that it helps you cope. There is also creating boundaries. They can help. Creating boundaries doesn't necessarily mean cutting people off. Just knowing how far you can allow this person to go with your interaction with them. If you can allow them to visit you in your house or you prefer meeting outdoors, if this person can get access to your property or not, those kind of boundaries that you put with your siblings, they can help with coping, because it would be hard to break a bond between relatives because you're already related by blood. Yeah.
So, Rachel, are you saying, you mentioned therapy? Are you saying the parents can't be themselves? It has to be therapy. The parents can't do it.
No, okay, you see, in most instances, you'll find parents are the cause for that rivalry. So they, again, cannot be the ones who caused the injury and then they come and bring the cure. They've taken years to cause that rivalry between the siblings. So they cannot again come and try to patch up things.
Okay, I hear you. Thanks. AMK?
I think siblings rivalry start with parents. And therefore, the solution should start from parents. And that's the reason I said you need to know how to manage your own problem, your own issues that you brought in. Otherwise, even if I bring external factor, the siblings might feel that you are weak. You cannot handle your problem. Only a stranger who can come to handle your problems. So as a parent, that's why I said you need to be very cultured and also to bring children who are cultured, who understand each other, who respect each other, and who love each other. So parents are the cause of those rivalry or fighting cases, and they should be the solution to start with. That's my thought.
Okay, thanks, MK. Dave, raise your hand up from before. You want to say something? Dave, are you there? Okay. Dexter, how would you handle sibling rivalry? Dexter, what's your take on handling sibling rivalry?
Well, I think it's the nature of humans to be competitive. How would I? Do you mean how would I handle it if it happens to me?
Oh yes, or advice, yeah, to you, or if you see a family where their kids are having serious unhealthy rivalry with each other, what would you do to help them and their parents?
Okay. Speaking from me personally, I will not be competing with my siblings because I wish them all the best. If we are competing and they are getting good, okay, I'm happy they are still my sibling. And that is where I disagreed with the person who said love is not real. I mean, if you do love your siblings, you will be happy for them. It doesn't matter if you are not doing well. If I had to advise someone who is having unhealthy competition with their siblings, what I will tell them is you really cannot. It's a matter of do you love them or do you hate them. If you hate them, then the competition is not unhealthy. It's actually healthy competition. You're just mad you're losing. If you love them, you should be happy for them, right? So if you hate them, go on, compete. Just like it's human nature to compete. Go on and compete. If you love them, tell you won't compete. You will be happy for your sibling and how they're doing well.
So, Dexter, in your opinion, is comparison a no-go zone? Should parents compare each other kids with each other? That's a no-go zone. Like if a report form in end of term report form, comparisons, is that a no-go zone? It's okay to compare.
It's not that black and white, Morioki. You are forcing me to pick a side. I personally think yes, there must be some sort of comparison. It's normal nature to compare, right? That is why we always have tools. You know, there's this opposition and the one in party because we like to compare. And that is why when you do something new, people don't know how to react because they have nothing to compare it to. But when you're doing something that has been done, they will be compared. It's not that is like a human nature. I don't think we choose to compare, but deep down we will always compare.
But Dexter, like in a family, the report form, end of term report form, you compare one sibling with another. What's your take on that? Is that okay?
Mm-hmm. I think it's not because it's different. Like me, for example, I used to be compared with my younger sister, right? But she's kind of a bit smarter than me, but my parents think I am smarter because I get things faster, but she can work hard and actually achieve better results than I can. You know, I can achieve it in 10 minutes. She'll maybe achieve it in like one day, but she may get better than I do. And I think my parents had that sort of healthy comparison. They were like, you are not, they would compare and they would tell her, you are not him, you need to go study. And my sister would study and she did well. I think it depends. Is the comparison healthy or is it not? Is it meant to bring someone down, you know, or is it meant to uplift them?
Okay, thank you, Dexter. Children, what's your view on comparison? Parents comparing siblings with each other. Children, what do you think?
I think it depends on how it's done, what the comparisons are, and how the children react. So I think it can be good for modeling behavior, but I also think some comparisons can be damaging. Like if you tell one child in front of the other child, like, yeah, you're my favorite child or something like that. But I think as long as constructive criticism is offered along with the comparison, then I don't see the harm. Like, for example, let's say you have a sister or something, and then your parents tell you, oh, you see, your sister's room is always clean, but yours is a mess. You should learn to be more clean like your sister. And then they show you how to clean your room. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing because they're trying to show you that, it's something doable. Or let's say your sister buys you something, like maybe she shares food with you or buys you a present, and then your dad tells you, oh, your sister got for you a present last time, or last time she shared with you food, you should do the same. Then I don't think that's a bad thing. Again, as long as there's constructive criticism and as long as it doesn't negatively affect the self-esteem of the child who's being compared.
Thanks, Chibu. Estonio, what do you think of comparisons? Estonio.
Comparisons, as you always say, it is a thief of joy. Of joy. You should never be comparing yourself with your brother or your sister, because you have different abilities in different sectors. One of your siblings might be good in business, and you are good in corporate, or you are good in sports. So comparison, I think it's actually parents who start the comparison. It's not even the siblings themselves. It's the parents who start this comparison. Yeah? I don't know. You look at your brother. Where like for me, I'm I'm very sure in 1 or 2 years later they'll start comparing me with my brothers again, who all of them have children, and me I don't have. So these comparisons, I don't know. Mostly it's the parents who start this comparison, which is as people have said here, is the sibling rivalry. It's the parents who start them most of the time.
Okay, fine, thanks. Now, how about these family reunions? I don't know. I think I've had bad experiences myself, because when these are times, these family reunions, you see, people are there, but they have grudges inside from the past. So they'll come for a family reunion. Then, okay, unless it's resolved once and for all, it's okay. But you see families meet together, like during Christmas, especially during Christmas. They meet together, but there are still unresolved issues. So are family reunions worthwhile if you don't resolve the past issues? Are they realistic, or it's just a formality? What do you think about family reunions? For to me, what I've seen again, you see, the grudge remains. You'll meet, but the grudge still remains. You'll talk, you eat food, have a good time. But when you go home, they still have things. There are things unresolved from the past. So our family reunions are worthwhile, or they're just a formality, a way of pretense. What do you think of family reunions? Thanks.
Moriuki?
Ondeva, your hand is up and you're not talking. Mm.
Yes, I have my hand up waiting to be called.
No, I called you. Never. I called you so many times. You didn't talk. I called you so many times.
Oh,
You couldn't
I'm
hear.
sorry.
Yeah. I called you so many times. You weren't talking.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm going to briefly just mention comparison. As Sonia said, comparison is a thief of joy, but we can't help it. It's not like you can decide I'm not going to see my neighbor's new car, but I have to self-regulate. I have to know for myself, oh, yeah, he has a new car, but I have got the school fees, I have got this, I have got a sick parent, I have to tell myself why I don't have a good car equally. And that probably is just a way to explain to myself the situation that I find myself in. Now about unresolved family issues and also comparisons. Yeah, those things sometimes can start from childhood. There is one child, the one that is always told that he or she's like this, she's the neat one, she's the hardworking one, she's this one and this one and that one. And eventually situations arise, or rather unhappiness, a resentment arise towards the person that is favored. This is my experience. So the person that is favored, usually there is resentment. I'm going to say that in my family there was no secret who the family favorites were, and it was, to me, I thought it was totally ridiculous. Somebody can stay without showing that that is the person that they favor. And at the end of the day, we looked and we just wondered, okay, those are your favorite people. So those are the people you put all your energy on. And they don't even come to see you when you are sick. But I dare not, you wouldn't even mention something like that, just to do what you have to do. But don't say, well, where is the favorite son? He didn't show up. You can't say that. You just do, okay, the favorite son is not going to do anything. So I step in the line and I say, yeah, I'm next. I'll do what I need to do. And so the resentment for the other, from the rest of us, we call ourselves the rest of us. You can just see it is there. And for those who can avoid the resentment, they avoid the resentment. But for those who cannot avoid, you can see the resentment. But also another part of, a good part also came in when it came to we as a unit. When the three parents, I had two mothers and one father, when the three were gone and we had to share whatever our father had, well, guess what? We ganged up together and we said everybody gets a share of it. So we did differently from what they would have done. So nobody got a bigger share because they are the favorite. Everybody got the same amount as any other person. Family gatherings, no, we gather for funerals. Thank you. I mean, even if I'm not there, they gather for funerals because I think nobody has had the initiative. For family gatherings, somebody has to have the initiative. So when I brought up the initiative, it was assumed that I would be funding family gatherings. And I said, no, it shouldn't be one person funding family gathering just because I suggested it. It should be a common funding, like a common pot, and we just eat together. If you have githeri, bring the githeri, we eat together. Don't say, watu wa majuu walete chapati. If we have githeri, we gather together and we eat that and we be happy because we didn't come to eat, we came to gather together. But I found that the view was, the way people wanted to look at it was a little bit different from what I thought. For me, I thought, let's gather together. It's a potluck. A potluck is usually, you just bring what you usually eat on that day for supper. You bring it and we share. So yeah, so family gathering, I really don't have anything I can say about it, but I do know why we don't have it. Thank you.
So, Ndebe, thanks. Ndebe, before you came, I mentioned e-family is a real thing or a man-made construct. You see, for me, I see it like a man-made construct because now like families, they don't meet. Then when somebody dies, everybody comes together. If I have an aunt complaining to me, she says that I don't go and see her. But if she dies, we'll all go and bury her. So that's why I question, is family real or what? Because not people are apart. But when somebody dies, we all come together. So to you, is family real or a man-made construct? What do you think, David? Based on this, people are apart, but they come together when somebody dies. To me, it's a man-made construct. What do you think?
Somehow I think somehow we are thrown together by condition, by a situation. I can't help it that that person is my sister. But do they even like me? Most likely they don't like me. They probably just tolerate me. And I better be able to know my brothers and sisters. I better be able to know who just tolerates me and who just, well, I'm there. That's it. I don't want to go beyond that because it's going to sound very callous. But I'm old enough to know who tolerates me and who, just a bank account, that's kind of thing, an ATM. But so that is what makes it, is that it's just a condition. We were thrown together. I have friends who are more concerned about me than some family members. Yes, I've got friends that I do not, they don't treat me like an ATM, but if they hear that I'm sick or something, I'm unhappy, I've got a situation, they are truly concerned. So, and when somebody was saying that it is good that you have a family or you have somebody for when you have got a problem, I don't think that you can count on anybody in a situation. You can count on a really good friend, that can even be your brother or can be your sister, but they better be a good friend to you. You can count on those. Otherwise, it doesn't matter whether they are blood or not. Sometimes blood can be very thin. So you can't count. You can't say you will be able to count on somebody because they are your daughter or they are your husband or your boyfriend or your brother. You can only count on the person that will be there when the rubber hits the road, and that is the time you will find out who is your friend. When the rubber hits the road, it's the time you will find. It's not when you are well, when you have got some money, when you are young and strong. No, it is when the rubber hits the road is when you will know.
So, David, are you with me when I say family is a man-made construct? Are you with me on that one?
I think, I don't know what I'm going to say. It is just a situation. It's a situation that my parents made for us. We ate together, we grew up together. So was it a man-made construct? I think so. Constructed by societal, or rather the fact that we grew up together, we ate together, we lived under the same roof. We called the same person mom, the same person dad. So is that I don't even know. Is it maybe it's a man-made construct, I think. So if a family if we say family is a man-made construct, so what is friendship? It's also a man-made construct?
No, here because of blood. No, here there's blood. For me, I question, even despite the blood, things go so wrong. Despite those blood ties, things go very wrong. That's why I question families.
Good. So we have to construct.
Things go wrong.
So we have to make it something more than just blood, because we know blood can get very thin. So we have to construct something more than just blood between our brothers and our kin, cousins, and all those people.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Chilwave? I think he's just gone. Chilwave has gone. Estonio, what do you think about family? Is it a man-made construct or it's a reality? Estonio, what do you think?
How can a family be a social construct?
No, as in this thing like blood is. We talked before you came. You talked about blood being thicker than water.
Yes,
question it because at times
I listened. Yes, I was listening.
Oh, you are there. Yeah, but things, Estonia, things go so wrong. You wonder, is this my brother? Is this my sister? Is this, we see it all everywhere it happens. That's why I question this thing. Then, like Never is saying, a friend can help you more than a family member. Like Never mentioned, you find a stranger will help you even more than your own brother. So that means what about family?
Mostly cases of strangers helping you more than your family. They're I won't say they're rare, but they're few. They're few and far between compared to the cases where the family members actually help their other members. So we already know that there are some cases where a stranger helps you more than your family. But the cases where it's like it's normal when a family member helps you that we do not even realize how common it is. But when now a stranger helps you and your family members and a family member does not, you broadcast it. But in my view, the number of times family members help each other, there are way far more cases than the cases where strangers or just friends they helping you. And maybe these cases of family members not helping you, maybe I think this cases started to rise in the modern world where it's like people now they started seeing others as competition, your family members as competition, especially the extended family, not necessarily the nuclear family, but the extended family, like maybe your cousins or your uncle, like your uncles or some, but like most of the time when you talk about uncles on your father's side, I don't know, they don't want you to succeed. Some I know some cases like those ones are there, but a family member helping you, it is too common that you don't even uh, bat an eye. But when it's a stranger who has helped you and your family member didn't, you broadcast it everywhere. So blood
So
is
for
still
you,
thicker than water. Blood is thicker
also
than
for
water.
you, so for you, family is something real, eh? To it something
Yes,
real, eh?
it's very real. Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank
Whenever
you.
you need whenever you have a problem, obviously it is your family members that you seek help from first. Even when someone I've denied a lot of friends or some strangers help. When they ask for that help from me, I ask them, what about your family? What about your family? And they tell me the family members they also don't have, they are unable to, or they just remain silent. Maybe those are just some uh, rare cases, but most of the time when you need when you are in need, it's your family members that you go to first. There's your parents, your siblings, and most of the time they help you. So families are real.
So Estonia, so in these family reunions for you, it's not a formality. It's something real, eh?
Okay,
Yeah.
family reunions they used to be common back in those days, but now in the modern world, rural to urban migration, people became very busy looking for money, and until uh, these family gatherings they became very few and very less common. than it was those days. But they're still there. But if even those days, I think the family gatherings used to be common because there are no telephones to communicate. But these days, someone is in Nairobi, you can communicate with them anytime when you are in the village. Their presence, maybe others can just go and meet only like for 2 or 3 days and they are back. But because of the introduction of because of advancements in technology, you can easily communicate with your family when they are far away. So it's even the family gatherings like we are doing here. Some can even just do it on Zoom. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Dexter, what do you think of family reunions? Dexter, are they a formality or are they real?
Pardon me.
Yeah, I'm saying these family reunions, like when families get together, are they a formality or it's something real? Because at times I see families have issues, hidden issues that won't be solved even in a reunion. They'll come and go home with hidden issues. Like it's just a formality. What do you think?
Okay, I think family is not really a formality. I think it's necessary that families often meet and communicate, but that depends on the underlying relationships between them. If you all hate each other, there's no need to meet. Thank you.
Now, Dexter, for you, family really, according to what you just said, no, if you hate each other. So for you, is family a real thing or a man-made construct?
Morioki, you have to give me a few minutes. It's raining too much. I cannot hear myself well. I wonder what's happening in Kitui. We have become what? It's raining too much. We're not used to this. Okay, it's quiet now. Ask me now.
Yeah. So you say that if you hate each other, now you see, for you, is family a real thing or a man-made construct, something forced on humanity? It's just people who got together. Is it a real thing or a man-made construct?
Okay, I think it's a genuine thing. It doesn't appear as a formal. When you say it's a formality, of course it is. You guys need to meet. Everybody is doing their things, but if you are a family with who have been doing that, I think it's commendable. Like for example, we focused on the biological families. Aren't we a family? Don't we occasionally meet and talk and discuss? Are you calling this a formality?
No, I meant the one for blood, the blood one, blood one.
Okay.
No, blood,
In the blood one, well, it depends. Is it optional or is it compulsory?
Okay,
When
now
you
if
have
it's
a
real, it should be
meeting.
compulsory. Yeah, if it's real, it should be compulsory. If it's a real, if family is real, it should be compulsory. We should not meet. If it's something real, it should be compulsory. If blood is thicker than water, it should be a must to meet together. There's
Well,
no
then
choice.
if it's a must, then I think it's a formality. The blood relation thing, I think it only works with children, right? My father can have another wife and my mother can have another husband, but I cannot have other parents. So when we talk about blood, I think it just happens between parents and children. Those are the family, If it's the children that are meeting, sure, but then it's not a formality. Do you get me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if the kids are meeting, it's not a formality.
Yeah, it's not, because I think the person who said family is a social construct, I think I'll have to agree with them.
Yeah, me too. Because Dexter, I said, if your parents are strangers who just met, your father and mother are just two strangers who met, just like they're not ordained by a higher power. They just met. So it means nothing.
Yeah.
It means nothing, right?
But it means something to me that they are my parents, because, okay, At this point where I am an adult, I cannot get other parents. But when I was born, maybe I could. Yeah, it's social. If someone adopted me, I would be treating them the same way. I think family is just like a nation. It's something people decide to do. If the people involved decide not to do it, it's no longer family.
Yeah, that's our match. Yeah, thank you. Okay, okay. I think we're running out of time. I don't know. I think we've exhausted all the subtopics have been exhausted. So maybe we can give our closing remarks about what we think of family and challenges. Yeah, we can give how we found the discussion, then we can close. Yeah. So maybe Tommy, can you say something? Tommy, as a closing remark. Okay, Sawa. And Shiro, closing remarks. Shiro, how was the discussion? Yeah. Hey, Dorcas, man. Dorcas went happy. Dorcas is back.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, Dorcas. What?
I am so sorry. Okay, my phone has been hanging. I was trying in frustration. Logging in is logging me out. Then the screen freezes. Then, gosh, I don't even know. Technology, man.
Now, your hand was up. Now, we're talking about love when you left, I remember. Love being real and not real. That's when you left.
Yes. Now, let me just give that contribution. I'm so sorry I missed the bulk of the discussion, which I think was very useful. The issue about child abuse and the other subtopics, I think they were really useful. But since I wasn't privy to the discussion, let me just make that contribution on divorce and infidelity. I was raising my hand not in response to adding to that argument of whether love is real or not, but I wanted to make my contribution on divorce and infidelity. Because you had asked, if divorce happens, if infidelity happens and divorce happens, then isn't this a sign that family isn't real? So you keep bringing back that question, and I disagree with you. Just because something ends does not mean that it isn't real. Very many things are temporary. A job is temporary. A business is temporary. Even friendships are temporary. There are many things. Your membership in a certain body is temporary. At some point, it will end. That does not negate the fact that at a certain point, it didn't exist. Okay? So that's one aspect I wanted to bring out. Another dimension is that life continues, family continues after divorce. It does not mean that when two people have parted ways as a married couple, that the children will no longer need them. Nowadays, we have the aspect of co-parenting. I remember just this week, I was listening to a TikTok by Terence Creative. He's a comedian and content creator, for those who don't know him. And he does it with his wife, Millie. And they were asking each other, I think, truth or dare questions, the partners, the marriage partners, and also the children. So one question they asked each other was, what is one crisis that threw you off regarding this family? And Chebi said that it was because the wife, that is, she said it's his co-parenting. and he's cheating. He had cheated on her and it went viral. Everybody was talking about it, but she stayed. Then later, he's now co-parenting, not with the person he cheated with, but with somebody else he had a relationship with prior to his marriage to his current partner. So the current partner is jealous of the co-parenting arrangement. That is irrelevant to the welfare of the child that Terence had with his first partner. He's still family to the child, and he's still participating actively in the child's life. So, Morioki, you cannot claim that that is not real. The fact that he continues to parent this child after the divorce means that it is real. It means that family is still relevant. So please scrap that entire idea of dismissing it entirely because it's temporary, because it ends at a certain point. Maybe I can chime in a little on the issue of love not existing. I think I echo Donald's sentiments on this. I'm actually surprised that today me and Donald are reading from the same script. Usually we disagree. Donald is Dexter, for those who are not aware. Love exists. It's the same problem I'm having with you claiming that family, now I'm talking to Morioki specifically, you claiming that family is not real because it will end in divorce, because there are all these divorce cases that happen. That does not negate the fact that it didn't exist or that it will continue to exist for the child and parent. It's the same thing with love. Just because love can fade does not mean, can fade or disappear, does not mean that at the point when you harbored those emotions that they did not exist. It's the same with other emotions. To me, love is an emotion, by the way. It's the same case with anger. Anger exists. Anger is real, but it's not a permanent state. So even love exists, but it is irrelevant in this discussion of family because oftentimes we continue to fulfill our obligations in family because of our relation, our blood relation, or whatever relation we have to that person. The sense of duty that you have will cause you to continue taking care or doing your part in the family. So yeah, that's what I had to say. I'm so sorry, guys. It's my device that has an issue, lakini what can I do? Thanks.
Dr. Somebody mentioned how a stranger can give you more help than a family member. What do you think of that? And it happens. You find your own family member can ignore you, and a complete stranger helps you. What do you make of that?
Yes, that's happening. That's a lot of that is happening out there. Partly because of the strained relationship among family members, or it could also just be convenience because they say that your neighbor is the most likely person to assist you when you're in trouble compared to some older brother or sister or parents who are really far away. So yes, that's a reality. But we cannot also ignore the fact, Morioki, that oftentimes, let's say somebody's in hospital, they need a blood transfusion and they have a rare blood type. Who are the people who will mobilize and solicit for donations? It's the family. They have a high hospital bill. Who are the people who will focus on helping that person? Most likely, it is the family. Here in SAS-K, we have a lot of those situations where somebody's telling you they have a sick family member or eventually the family member is deceased, they're the ones that will be concerned with the funeral arrangements, the what have you. We can't still ignore that other side, that family plays an important role in supporting us. Yes, we have cases where relationships are strained and strangers help you more. We also have cases of, and which I believe are the majority of, family members being the first line of defense when you're in trouble. So, yes.
Because if it's so, for me, my view is if it's that real, it should be perfect. If family is that real, if blood is thicker than water, it should be that real. Not why all these mess in families.
No, I disagree with you, Morioki. Please refrain from the fallacy of purity, that just because something is not 100% perfect doesn't mean that it's non-existent. No, just because something isn't perfect, doesn't make it unnecessary. Look at the example of divorce. Just because some people divorce, some couples divorce, it's not even the majority, by the way, especially if we are looking at the Kenyan context. I think our divorce rates are, I don't know for 2026, but is it something like 20-something percent? That's a very small minority. Most marriages stay intact. So let's look at most situations. We see that in most situations, people continue to stay together. In most situations, people continue to take care of each other. Of course, there are those examples of the contrary, but it does not negate the fact that these standard examples exist. So, apana, wacha tukwena. Let's not have that expectation of purity or perfection in something for it to be real. Apana.
And Doctor, finally, we mentioned family reunions. We mentioned our family, these family get-togethers, and I've noticed many times people come together for funerals. If it's something else, they don't come. But when somebody dies, people come together. So again, I wonder, what is this? What do you think about that? People come together for when somebody dies. So I question family again there. What do you think?
It's partly a cultural thing. I think Africans, we pedestalize death. We revere death, and we have all manner of superstitions around it. But it's also maybe a guilty complex, like you feel, oh yeah, I could have done something before they passed on. They were asking for my help, I didn't come through. Now they're feeling so guilty, so they'll try and do their best now to give you a quote-unquote decent send-off. But as I said, nuance, Morioki, I can give you examples of the opposite situation, where people still get together for non-death, non-funeral reasons. We still have weddings. Weddings still take place, and majority of the time, it is family. It's within the family context that weddings take place. We have people who go up country over Christmas. This is very common in many Nairobi homes. Like people are traveling to the villages over Christmas. Who are they going to see? They're going to see family. So you give me one example of the contrary case. I also give you another example of the typical case. So we can't make one conclusion. We can't lean towards one side or the other. We just have to take it as it is and say, this is the situation with family. It is complex. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Dorcas. So, Ndebe, closing remarks, and what is the thought of the discussion?
Yes, to close, it was a good discussion, although I missed part of it. But the family units are really, they are really complicated. You might see some family and think that they are perfect. It is just because you don't have the inner scoop. But I think that's how it is. But I think parents should avoid some pitfalls. Now, let us say that nobody gets trained to be a parent. We just find ourselves in that. But I think it is something that we should avoid. And the idea of parenting is always to eventually kick that person out of the nest. So you have to equip them for the day that they have to leave the nest. Because every day, yes, they should leave the nest sometime and go establish their own nest. It doesn't matter whether they are going to have a family or not, to have a family of their own or not. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying they should get, at one point, they should get their independence. This morning, I was also discussing the funeral issue. And I was telling somebody that was just saying that, oh, they are gathering for some funeral of so and so. And I said, unfortunately, some of the WhatsApp groups that we have here have got the same problem of funeral. Or rather, I'm sure you have heard me call us Africans a culture of death. Whenever we have occasionally the WhatsApp group, we get somebody brings an issue that a child in such and such a school, this kid did well, and this should go to report to this school, and they have a problem. We need to come together and send this kid to school. And it's always the same suspects, that come through for these children. But let one of us die, and we need to take them to Kenya. We need to freight them to Kenya. 30,000 is going to be raised. $30,000, something like 3 million is going to be raised to send a body to Kenya. And let me tell you, ile fujo watu wanaingia Canada nayo. Fungulia hii mlango, me, I'm coming, I want to come into Canada. And they come in, and then you die, and you want to be taken back to Kenya. That's why I call us. And this is a child that is alive, that has got a future, but we are reluctant. And we are, I'm going to say we are here. Some of the people who managed to come here, they have good education. They supposedly should have, actually, yes, I'm going to use those two words. They supposedly should have some really good brains. Surprise, surprise on you. They are still on that culture. I am very suspicious of the people, the Kenyans that I live with here, because they still are in the culture of death. They do not know how to separate between a child that is going to be educated and become the future of Kenya and a body that is dead. That we are going to send that body with 30,000, and we cannot raise. We have a problem raising 1,000 for a child to go to school. Come on, you. So now you know you can forgive your village people, because the people, the Kenyans, your fellow Kenyans in Ontario have got the same thoughts about funerals. I'm sure your village would have a problem making money. My village has a problem raising money to send a child, a child that they know to school. But they have got no problem burying that child. If that child should die, they want to put that child in a golden coffin. Yeah, wacha tu niwachie hapa. enough ranting for a day. Thank you.
So, I think it's what Doka said. Is it the guilt conscious? Guilty. We feel human beings have that guilt. Sinio, guilty.
No, we are a culture of death. We have not separated life from death. We are a culture of death. We do not know that people who are alive are important. We think that people who are dead are important. How is a body that is dead important? A body that is dead is going to be buried with or without a coffin, with or without 1,000 or 10 people in uniform and the president. That person is dead. You need to have brought them flowers when that person lived. That's when you needed to come and see them. You needed to bring them flowers. You needed to pay or raise money for their medical bill when they were still alive. Not when they are dead, you come and bury them. I don't understand.
Thank you. Estonia, closing remarks. Estonia, 1 minute closing remark.
Africans should stop worshipping dead bodies. That's my final remark. Stop worshipping dead bodies.
So, thank you.
They are
Dexter, closing
dead
remark.
already. Whether you give them a send-off of 1 million shillings or you give them a send-off of 10 bob, they'll not resurrect. They are not Jesus. Anyway, Jesus never existed anyway. But I hate this culture of worshipping dead bodies. That's why if I have never posted anyone when they are alive, I will never post them, even when they are dead. I'll never post them. I don't know this behavior of people posting their people on their socials. Immediately these people have died, but when they are alive, they never posted them in their socials. Africans should stop worshipping dead bodies. In short.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, Ndebe and Estonia, I'm with you, both of you. I'm with you 100%. 100%. I agree with both of you. Okay, Dexter, a closing remark and what you thought of the discussion. He's gone. Okay, Rachel, closing remark and what you thought of the discussion. Rachel. Okay, Docas, just close. Docas, close it. Stano, are you there? Stano.
Hello.
Oh yeah, Docas, just close. Close Docas, thanks.
Oh, I managed to unmute my mic because actually the previous time, all this trouble started when I attempted to recharge my phone and then it got stuck and all that. So I'm glad.
Docas, do you agree with Ndebe and Estonia about worshiping dead bodies? We should stop worshiping dead bodies. Are you them? I'm with them.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's appreciate people while they are still alive. It's a big problem. There's a guy I follow on what is it called? YouTube, who criticizes a lot of African traditions. We need to challenge some of these norms. As skeptics, don't just embrace everything because that's how you've been taught or that's how things have been done. Let's actually examine the utility of it and the logic of it. So yeah, I'm with them. With that said, thank you so much, everyone, for your input in this discussion. I might have missed about 40% of it, but I would like to appreciate the people who said something. I believe Chillwave was among them. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Donald or Dexter, for the meeting. Thank you, Estonio. Thank you, David. Thank you, AMK. Anthony, it's been a minute since we heard from you. Kijana mpotevu, the prodigal son, has returned. I hope this is not.
He went.
It's okay. He will listen to the recording. I think, Anthony, you've been missed, and I hope that this will not be another rare occasion. I hope you'll continue coming back for the discussions. And of course, our moderator, thank you for recommending this topic. I think many of us are dealing with family challenges. Maybe some of us have faced child abuse. Maybe some of us have undergone divorce or were the products of divorce, in that we initiated divorce, we divorced our partners, or we grew up in a one-parent home because of divorce. So I think these are very important social issues that perhaps can assist us. The ideas here can assist us in navigating them in the future. We look forward to the next discussion. I'll share a list, by the way, of all the upcoming topics, like 5 or 6 of them, so that you guys are aware. They might not be in the order in which they appear, but at least you'll know in advance the topics that would be of interest to you. So yeah, guys, I wish you all a good night, a good morning, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Bye.
Okay, good night, everybody.